everybody, and welcome. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland. Not only is it hot, but this darn wind is ruining our hairdos.
Well, mine's moving. What about yours? You carved it pretty good.
All right, let's talk about volleyball. Biggest weekend of the year in pro beach volleyball. Not only are there one beach volleyball tournament this weekend, there are two, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast.
Well, certainly one of the biggest and historic weekends. Two different tournaments this weekend. One, of course, here, the AVP Nestea Open here in Belmar. Then let's go 3 time zones all the way back out to historic Hermosa Beach, an international volleyball tournament that Karch Kiraly, Scott Akatubby, Mike Whitmarsh, and his partner Mike Dodd had to play in order to be eligible for the Olympic qualification next year. So some great teams there, some great teams here. It's wide open.
We should tell you we're covering both tournaments. A little bit later, we'll go out to Hermosa Beach and get a report from that volleyball aficionado, NBC's Bill Walton. Now, what about this tournament? One super team is here, Adam Johnson and his partner Jose Loyola. How did they do? The biggest upset of the year, they lost.
Well, in absence of the superstars, Kiraly, Akatubby, Dodd, Whitmarsh, they were seeded #1 and came in probably as a heavy favorite. But in these sort of weather conditions, anything is possible. They wilted in the second round. Huge upset. They lose to Fouts and Muttart. And 2 other very, very highly regarded teams went out among the top 5 seeds. Angino and Angino and Hovland lost, and Frohoff and Heiger lost. I always want to get the Brazilians back together, I guess.
All right, our matchup for you, the #3 seed and the #6 seed, Ricky Luyties, Eric Fonoimoana, going up against Troy Tanner and Wes Welch, 2 teams that legitimately have a chance to win this tournament.
Well, both of them have a chance to win, but both these teams, if you'd ask all 4 of the players, have underachieved all season long. Troy Tanner and Wes Welch got together after Troy Tanner left the pro leagues in Japan, and they started out pretty well, but have been going in a tailspin. 9th place the last couple of weeks. And Fonoimoana and Luyties, everybody said, look, this is going to be one of the great teams all season long, very, very competitive. But they come up with a 13th last week. So with the upset, a great opportunity for both of these teams to take the championship.
Eric Fonoimoana will be wearing the blue hat and the white tank top. He's won 1 tournament in his career last year in Baltimore. His partner, Ricky Luyties, has won 7 tournaments, 2 majors in his illustrious career, nearing the $700,000 mark. Troy Tanner and Wes Welch, neither of them has ever won a tournament. They finished second twice last year, once in San Francisco and once in Dallas. So here we go, Benoit serving first, 1 game to 15. Our first referee is Marvin Hall, and Tanner racks it straight down. So Tanner gets the first kill. There's Troy Tanner, no hat today, kind of unusual for him, sunglasses, white tank top. And his partner, the skier, volleyball player, snowboarder, Wes Welch, blue hat, and is that a yellow tank top? I guess it is. He's got the black socks on, folks.
He's the same color as we do. He's the 3rd member of the mustard troop.
Center court filling in. Remember, there are matches going on all around us in quarterfinal and contenders bracket action. Here comes Wes Welch, and Wes Welch hits it straight down. Welch and Tanner, a very talented team.
Well, both big and strong, set the ball extremely well. The kind of team that you would expect to be in the mix each and every week, which goes for both of these ball clubs. But they just haven't been able to step it up and beat the really top teams. Thus, you know, with the upsets this week and the absence of Kiraly and Akatubby and Dodd and Whitmarsh, I tell you, these guys become very, very prominent in what will happen in this tournament.
Eric Fonoimoana is 26 years old. Serving Tanner. No score. And Tanner cuts inside. Troy Tanner, a 1988 Olympic gold medal. You remember him on that famous Karch Kiraly, Steve Timmons, Craig Buck unit. He was a backup outside hitter to Karch, so he didn't play all that much. And Wes Welch, a man who came into his own very, very late in volleyball life. Welch now 35. And Luyties hits it straight down.
Tanner and Welch had never won. You think about their frustration last year when they looked like they had the tournament won in San Francisco, only to lose to Adam Johnson and Randy Stoklos. Fonoimoana broke through last year, of course, in Baltimore with Scott Akatubby, and Ricky Luyties had those great couple of years with Adam Johnson.
Right. Welch with the blast. And the side out. No score, early action quarterfinal here on NBC. Fonoimoana and Luyties, the #3 seeded team. Troy Tanner, Wes Welch, the #6 seeded team. We're going to try to keep you updated on what's going on in this tournament, as there have been a mammoth amount of upsets. Doug Faust and Craig Moodart able to knock off Johnson and Loyola.
Okay, Ricky Luyties was a backup setter as an '88 gold medalist to Jeff Stork. At 6'5", he's got fabulous hands setting the ball. Fonoy unloading from the left side. Both teams got to pass the ball well. That's a key, serving and passing.
Pretty good play so far. No errors yet, and Tanner puts it away.
You know, we showed the temperature out on center court. You know, a forgiving 110 degrees, and now that it's gotten a little bit breezy, I guess that doesn't include the wind chill, but if the weather can give these players a break on a weekend like this, as the day has worn on, a breeze has come up that will cool it off just a little bit, because it was horrific earlier today when the day was dead still, no breeze whatsoever.
Wes Welch with the serve, no score, and Welch has the dig. Can he put it away? Yes.
Fonoimoana made the right call to his partner Ricky Luyties. Called line. You could hear him yell it out not once but twice, but Luyties just did not key in, cut it into the angle, and there's the breeze we're talking about. Thank goodness for the players, because it was just death out here. One of the referees at 10:30 this morning passed out.
Welch with the
serve.
He
wasn't doing much as usual.
Leading 1-0. Fonoimoana looping down the line. So Eric Fonoimoana gets the kill.
Again, ball control is key. Both Troy Tanner and Wes Welch serve the ball extremely well. If Fonoimoana and Luyties can pass the ball throughout the duration of this match, then they'll be right in it. But they have periods of time where they give up 2 or 3, 4 points in a row, and that's what neither of these teams can do.
Troy Tanner is 31 years old, 6'4", 180 pounds, grew up in Hacienda Heights, California. He's won almost $200,000 in his career, but he's only been on the circuit for 3 years. And that ball is off Tanner, out of bounds. 1-0 is our score. Tanner and Welch have the lead.
Well, after the '88 Olympics, Troy Tanner, even though he didn't get that much playing time, that team was so highly regarded because of its depth of talent. He's been playing professionally overseas and in Europe and now in Japan, making a lot of money. And it wasn't until just a couple of years ago that he tried his hand out on the beach.
Serving Tanner. And Tanner cuts across court. Matter of fact, Tanner missed the first third of the season playing in Japan. Actually had to try out one day over at USC. Craig Buck and Adam Johnson and a number of other players involved in that secret tryout that we found out about. And Troy Tanner, one of the men, along with Craig Buck, making that Japanese squad.
Of course, Bob Samuelson, that all volleyball fans know, who just signed a new multi-year contract to go back to Japan and play professionally.
Luyties with the put away.
Fonoy trying to give him a call again. Line angle. I tell you, I would just get on Ricky to make him stay very, very positive and very aggressive, because he can hit the ball off of or through either Wes Welch or Troy Tanner.
Ricky Luyties looking to send up a sky ball.
That's carrying way long. He's serving that with the wind. You almost have to serve that right above the top of the net to keep it in the court at all, the wind really picking up.
Tanner Welch 1, Fonoimoana Luyties 0. Good pass. And Luyties is down the line. If there's one knock against Ricky Luyties, is that sometimes he's erratic passing, but when he has his game going, there's nobody better in volleyball.
I'll tell you, making the side-out game look very, very easy. Both Fonoimoana and Luyties can pass the ball well, but are streaky. If they stay steady, they're going to be right in this match.
1-0 is our score. Here comes Tanner. And Tanner very, very steady so far. So Troy Tanner with the kill. Why wouldn't he be wearing a hat today? I've never seen him play without a hat.
Maybe forgot it at the
hotel.
Too hot,
maybe?
I don't know. I don't know. That's about the only reason that makes sense. But when it was hot, you want to wear the hat. When it's windy, you want to wear the hat.
Wes Welch serving.
Maybe nobody's paying him to wear the hat, so it's optional.
And Fonoimoana catches the line on the outside. So Eric Fonoimoana, last year he told me his goals were to get on TV, to get a fourth, and save money for a house. This year he said, I want to buy a truck, finish third or higher, and I'm still saving for a house. Welch with a big blast, and the score remains 1-0. There is big Wes Welch. Tremendous athlete, just got involved in volleyball very late in life. Played 1 year at USC, but really not a factor. And Tanner serving. Ace for Tanner.
From the good side, hubby wife area, no movement whatsoever from Fonoimoana and Luyties. Tanner comes in from the right side. You can serve, of course, from anywhere along the baseline, and Troy Tanner lines up at the middle of the court, goes right after it.
Of course, we should tell you that Tanner and Welch are serving from the good side, and so they are going to have many more scoring chances. So you have to get 1 or 2 on the bad side, wouldn't you say?
Well, 1 would be a minimum requirement. 2 would be very, very good, given how much the wind is picked up. Very much changing conditions from when these two teams played earlier. And there's a point on the board. Fonoimoana getting it done from the bad side with the jump serve. And that's been the downfall at times of both these teams. Very physical, very talented, all 4 players, but just make the unforced errors too often.
Fonoy serving at 1-2. Good shot by Tanner. Tough to serve Tanner because he's regarded as an excellent passer.
But also a very good setter. So if you serve his partner, you know, it's a well-balanced team. And Troy Tanner going high and hard off of still one of the best blockers in the world of pro beach volleyball, Ricky Luyties.
We talked about Wes Welch being a late addition to the world of pro beach volleyball. He says, Troy Tanner's the best partner I ever had. I've never had the great partners, so in essence, he's never done as well as hoped, as that ball tipped over the top by Fonoimoana. On the AVP circuit, if you don't have a good partner, you're dead.
Oh, it's like anything else. Doubles in tennis. I mean, Martina just won another championship in mixed doubles over at Wimbledon. Obviously, her partner had to carry his share of the load. It's the same out here. If you don't produce as a team, you can't get it done.
2-1, Tanner Welch lead. Tanner got it. So Troy Tanner again. In his brief years on the tour, he's had a history of injury problems. He had 2 knee surgeries back in '87. He's had foot problems. In fact, you see on his left foot, he's wearing the sock, but he's had the troglodyte toe for some years now where he jammed it, injured it. Chance for a point here. Tanner looking to go to 3-1. Yes.
And all the points so far coming off of serve reception mistakes. And Troy Tanner, that's not to protect his feet against the heat or anything like that, but he has dislocated his toes so many times. I tell you, if they need a horror movie double just for somebody with real foot problems, he's your man.
He has his own personal digit doctor. And a 3-1 lead. Ricky Luyties, and he bounces it out of bounds. Was it touched? No. Timeout called. Coming back to Belmar. This is the AVP on NBC, and it's a 4-1 Tanner Welch lead. Degrees here in Belmar, New Jersey. How hot is it in Hermosa Beach, California? A little bit later, we'll be going to Bill Walton. This was Bill last year in San Diego. He's got the kind of skin that skin doctors love when you come in for an appointment. So he's huddled up, but we'll be hearing from Big Bill a little bit later on the FIVB. We'll update you on how Karch Garai, Scott Akatubby, Mike Whitmarsh, Mike Dodd, and the other AVP teams, and how the tournament's going out there. Looking forward to hearing about that. Here we're in quarterfinal action. Ricky Luyties, Eric Fonoimoana trailing Wes Welch and Troy Tanner 4-1. I'm Chris Marlowe, my partner Paul Sunderland. There's Eric Fonoimoana set to serve.
Got the prerequisite 1 point from the bad side in these windy conditions, but have to make up that deficit right away. A bad pass from Wes Welch.
Pretty good set, and Welch jams it over the top. This one of 4 quarterfinals, and the others, Doug Faust, Craig Moodhart, are playing Leif Hansen and Chris Young. Mark Cairns, Andrew Smith have made it to the quarterfinals. They're playing Kevin Martin. Yes, K-Mart and David Swadek are in the quarterfinals. It's a crazy tournament, folks. We'll give you the other two in a moment.
Familiar with a lot of those teams.
Yes.
Don't consider yourself ill-informed. Those are some young players doing a great job beating some much higher-seeded groups.
Of course, we have Fonoimoana, Luyties, Tanner, and Welch here. And then in the final, the quarterfinal, Canyon Seaman, the kid from Stanford, and Jeff Rogers are playing Beef Louie, Bill Bouillon, and Brian Lewis. Here. Off the block. Nice shot, Troy Tanner. Score remains 4-1, Tanner Welch.
Troy Tanner is doing a very good job of hitting what we call high and very flat. Now, Luyties and Fonoimoana got to be a little bit more disciplined blocking. Don't reach up with Troy as he tries to hit high into the deep part of the court. Continue to penetrate. I think some of those balls go out of bounds.
Pretty good serve there. Fonoy goes and gets it. Tanner got it! Score! Great foot, or whatever.
Hey, bad digit, no matter. This is a fabulous dig by Troy Tanner. Wes Welch didn't move right away, but I'll tell you, Tanner got on him and screamed for him to go after that ball, and it led to the little pokey point.
22nd sand timeout taken by Ricky Luyties and Eric Fonoimoana. And once the players do call timeout, it's douse up. All right, today's Nestea tip is brought to you by Nestea, the original iced tea experience. Boy, I wish we could spike like that still, Paul.
Still? How about ever?
Back at our quarterfinal, Eric Fonoimoana, Ricky Luyties trailing Wes Welch and Troy Tanner 5-1. With 5 minutes and 23 seconds to go, Tanner and Welch jumping on Fonoy and Ricky, getting over the 5-1 change. But now Fonoy and Ricky on the good side. They should be able to make some points. Oh, and Wes Welch hums the jump serve. That was his calling card as he played in auxiliary terms. He was a great mixed player. He played a lot of tournaments with women. He had a great jump serve, and he's really known for that heater.
When he keeps it in the court. Right. He's got an unusual jump serve. Not the purest of topspin, I'll tell you, but when he gets it on you, it's very, very difficult to pass.
Gets on you very quick. Here's Fonoimoana, and Fonoimoana chops it inside. Luyties and Fonoy, what do they need to do now, Mr. Expert?
Got to create something. They haven't gotten anything done. Look at the number of digs, haven't gotten any. Ricky Luyties got to block some balls as well.
Don't forget, coming up next on the West Coast, NBC Sports takes you to historic Broadmoor Golf Club in Colorado Springs for the 50th U.S. Women's Open. Tanner off the block and the side out. 6-1 is our score here. Troy Tanner and his partner Wes Welch. They have been very disappointed in their play recently. Last 4 weeks they finished 9th. Got a couple fifths early, a couple sevenths, but they've been playing worse. So this could be a breakthrough day for them.
Yeah, lots of talk, lots of rumors going around about them splitting up, but what about options of where to go? You know, do you go to Randy Stoklos if you're a Troy Tanner? And of course, those same conversations were coming up around this man, Eric Fonoimoana and Ricky Luyties, because, you know, they finished 3rd in Atlanta. They have the potential to be in there each and every week, and then they come up with like a 13th last week and have been inconsistent this season.
Wes Welch coming back to serve.
Service error now. Wes Welch, who told me once his sports preference, skiing is his #1 favorite, snowboarding, surfing, then volleyball. Of course, he's making his living at volleyball.
Let's see,
he whacks it out of bounds.
You can ruin your knee skiing. He's doing all these things that can end your volleyball career.
Had his best year last year, $74,000 he made. This year at $31,000. And another spinner long. So Luyties and Fonoy trying to roll it deep, and they have not found their serving game as of yet. Troy Tanner serving with a 6-1 lead. Good pass. Here comes Luyties. And Luyties snaps it through. Of course, Ricky Luyties at 33, still one of the game's best, 6'5", 210 pounds, an avid weightlifter. Played his college volleyball with Karch Karai at UCLA, and he won 4 straight NCAA titles. The only starter, one of only 3 starters to ever do that in the history of collegiate volleyball. Shank pass into the net, and a little left hand, and so far Tanner and Welch having it their way. Quick timeout coming, 6-1. Tanner and Welch are on a roll.
Place this weekend in Hermosa Beach, California. For that, we go to Bill Walton.
Here in Hermosa Beach, California, it's an absolutely perfect day, and summertime is in full swing. But a major controversy has erupted in the usually tranquil sport of pro beach volleyball here at the FIVB World Championship Series. The 2 top AVP teams and other top-ranking AVP stars have been forced to play here and forsake their own tour in Belmar, New Jersey for the sake of Olympic qualification.
We're trying to make the best of a poor situation, and by that we accomplished our primary goal. The biggest goal was earn 5 points and play in a U.S. event. We are now, Scott and I are eligible for the Olympic trials.
St. John Smith, representing the smugness of the FIVB, has basically issued a take-it-or-leave-it ultimatum to the AVP.
In volleyball, the FIVB is incredibly strong. I think the AVP, because it grew so fast and became so strong here in the United States, they thought they could do the same thing outside of the United States. And they ran into the FIVB. Now, the FIVB's objective here is to build the sport worldwide, and it's willing to take the help of the AVP, but not let the AVP run the show.
In yesterday's action, 2-time indoor Olympic gold medalist and current #1 beach player Karch Karai, along with partner Scott Akatubby, outclassed developing teams from Norway and the Czech Republic.
Since we have to be here, compete hard and try to prove that we're a very good team.
In the big picture, this will ultimately help Karch Kiraly. But his partner, Scott Akatabi's participation here in Hermosa will cost him valuable bonus points on the AVP Tour.
I think the only problem I have playing this weekend out here in Hermosa is that I'm missing our regular tour, the AVP Tour in New Jersey, and it's costing me some bonus pool points. Otherwise, you know, I have to get my 5 points here to qualify for the main draw next June, so, I mean, I have to be here.
One of the two top-ranked AVP teams, Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh, had an even easier time as they routed teams from Germany 15-2 and Canada 15-4.
The German squad that we opened up against, they were big and physical, and they had all the skills, but I think they were a little nervous. We came out, made a couple of real good defensive plays right out of the box, got a lead on them, and they could never really bounce back from that, and we had a pretty easy win.
Longtime pro beach star Mike Dodd, although unfamiliar with specific players on the FIVB Tour, was generally impressed by the overall level of competition.
I'd say talent-wise, they're on a par. We got some young physical specimens out here that can jump and hit the ball and do things with any of the top AVP players. The real difference lies in experience, and some of these international players have only been playing 2 or 3 years, and they lack the experience and the time that it takes to really learn how to play this game, and that's where you see the difference.
While the AVP players have vehemently expressed their desires to be with their friends and tour mates in Belmar, New Jersey this weekend, they have swallowed their anger, their animosity, and their frustration to opt for Olympic glory, amid the realization that participation and conciliation is the correct course at this time. I'm Bill Walton from Hermosa Beach, and we'll be back tomorrow with a lot more because the beach is still open.
And the beach is open at Belmar as well as Hermosa. We'll send it back to Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland right after these messages from your local station.
Welcome back, everybody, and now our Nestea Beach summary. When we left you, it was 6-1. That lead grew to 8-1 until moments ago, Ricky Luyties finally getting off the dime and getting a big stuff, Paul.
Well, you asked me, what do Luyties and Fonoimoana have to do? This is what Ricky Luyties does best, or certainly how he can be a factor in who wins this match. Blocking balls, be a dominating player at the net.
Aces favoring Tanner and Welch. Fonoimoana and Luyties trying to get their act together. They're now on the bad side, and they trail 8-2. They are the fan favorites, however, if they can get together a run as Tanner goes ahead of Luyties off the top and the side out.
There's high flat once again, and Troy Tanner, I'll tell you, is taking some tight sets and just bonging them off the top of Ricky Luyties or Eric Fonoimoana. They got to press more into the cross court, stay lower and tighter.
Very interesting report by Bill Walton about the whole thing. I think Kiraly and Akatabi, Whitmarsh and Dodd, time from now to put up or shut up.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on there.
Tanner with a nice dig, and Welch. And Tanner can't negotiate the net. Pretty good up. And the side out. 3:41 to go in our game. 8-2, Tanner Welch lead.
Nice dig back here. This thing goes about 1,000,000 miles up in the air. Very hard for Troy Tanner to track. This one's blowing back into the wind and goes down. I want to talk a little bit more about Akatabi and Kiraly and Dodd and Whitmarsh at the end of this point. And for years, everyone all over the world has agreed that the AVP represent the top, the best volleyball players in the world on the beach. And now finally, after the FIVB, the international circuit, and the AVP have been at odds and lots of controversy, they have finally gotten together and played. And now Kiraly and Akatabi and Dodd and Whitmarsh are out there representing the AVP and have to prove up that they're the very best. And it's hard to win sometimes when you're absolutely the favorite, but Kiraly has had a lot of experience in that situation, and same with Mike Dodd, Mike Whitmarsh.
8-2. Eric Fonoimoana, who is 10th on the Powerade serving list. Powerade giving out $20,000 to the best server on the beach at the end of the year. And two of the best in the game are here. Wes Welch is number 4. Paul talked about the funky toss. Wes Welch has 132 aces in 65 games coming in. That's a lot.
Well, the numbers are very, very good, but what it doesn't show you is the number of errors. What you need is a good ratio because it's aces and then also pressures and rebound scores. It's a total serving picture as opposed to just aces. When Wes Welch is serving the ball well, he's a very scary sight because Troy Tanner can come right back with it. There you see his partner without the hat. There's Wes with the hat. A good serving combo, as are Luyties and Fonoimoana.
Ricky Luyties set to serve, just recently inducted into the UCLA Hall of Fame. First man ever in was the great left-handed spiker Kirk Kilgore in the early 70s. Kirk, now a broadcaster, he'll be doing the world feed at the 96 Olympic Games.
Yes, it is.
Very
it's next year.
Next year. Okay, here is Wes Welch. Number 4, Brian Lewis, James Fellows, Adam Johnson are ahead of him on the serving list. Fonoy, nice dig. Chance for a point.
Hard for Tanner to get that close. A couple of chances for Wes Welch and Troy Tanner, trying to do a little bit too much maybe on the last contact. This is a play where you've done everything very, very well. You dig a ball, you chase it down, you work hard. Just keep that ball in play. Keep the pressure on, particularly when you're on the good side.
8-2 is our score, and Welch goes down the line. Another thing that Welch and Tanner can do when they make a dig like that, you can either shoot long or try a little short dink, because the wind is blowing it down so hard you can really cram it into the wind instead of trying to hit that ball.
You see Mike Dodd do that repeatedly. He'll chase a ball down and then just whip it up into the wind with lots of top spin. I mean, literally, the court becomes 4 or 5 feet longer when you have that wind into your face.
Here's Ricky Luyties, and Luyties taps it over the top. Speaking of shots, the greatest shot maker I ever saw, mid-70s, Buzz Schwartz. He could tickle it with the cut shot. He would find every line. He'd be 10, 15 feet off the net and still be able to put the ball away in the wind.
And the great shot makers wait till the last second until you make your move. You break into the cross court, they loop line, or vice versa.
Wes Welch hitting hard. He got the touch off Fonoimoana. If you just joined us, it's been Welch and Tanner all the way. They led 8-1. Ricky Luyties got a block, and that's been about it. It's 8-2. As Troy Tanner and Wes Welch looking like one of the best teams on the tour. Sometimes they can look like one of the worst teams on the tour. They have been erratic.
Talked about Doug Faust and Craig Moutart having a great upset this week, of course, over Loyola and Johnson. Well, they beat Tanner and Welch last week, so maybe that wasn't, it was a big surprise. Whenever the #1 seed loses the #17 seed, that is indeed a shocker.
Fonoimoana serving, trailing by 6. Tanner's smart. He's played with Ricky Luyties. He was on the Olympic team with Ricky Luyties, and he knows not to hit straight down against Ricky. Just try to work his hands and move it around him.
Once again, hitting the high flat shot. Luyties getting up there with Troy Tanner.
I think Luyties at one time, perhaps in 91, 92, considered the best blocker on the beach. He was really on a roll there that one summer.
Well, he's a dominating player.
Yes.
And since that time, either other players have adjusted to what his strengths as a blocker, or he has not adjusted to hitters' tactics and strategy against him because he's not as effective as he was then.
Tanner and Welch have been superb. And, of course, with the tournament being wide open this week, if they can continue to play this smoothly, they have a shot to win it.
Fonoimoana diving into the cross court on a set that was too close to the net. When the ball is set tight to the net, you got to take ball. You can't give away that straight down shot, obviously, as evidenced by the crank. Bad pass here.
Ricky saves him, and the put away. Very nice play by Ricky Luyties on the save. And Fonoimoana will go back to serve. Ricky with the underhand bump. A lot of people think that Fonoimoana trains as hard as anybody on the beach, 4 or 5 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. Does pool workouts, endurance runs, volleyball drills, just a bit of everything. And Luyties can't handle it, so Tanner and Welch leading 8-2 with just a little under 2.5 minutes to go in the game. They have just dominated. Perfect side outs.
Well, and also they've scored 4 points from the good side and remarkably 4 points from the bad side. I mean, that's just great concentration, particularly when they went to the bad side.
Fonoy, and the dig is going out of bounds. We have a timeout on the sand. We're coming back. This is the AVP on NBC. Karch Karai in command at the moment, followed by Mike Dodd, Mike Whitmar, Scott Akatebe, Johnson, Loyola, and Lewis.
There you see the top group right now. Karch Karai on top. If he stays there, $125,000 to the winner, and then on down from there.
Ricky Luyties, Eric Fonoimoana trailing 8-2 with 2:19 to go. And the put away. We have an update from Hermosa Beach. Karai and Akatebe apparently were leading one of the top Brazilian teams, Melo and Rego, 12-3. Karai and Akatebe once again in the lead when Scott Akatebe threw out his back. That's right. Akatebe's back went out, and Karai and Akatebe forced a forfeit just got that word in. The Brazilians winning in a forfeit over Karai and Akitabi, 15-12. Now, that does not put them out of the tournament. It is double elimination, if I am right. And so we will see about Akitabi's back tomorrow, and we will give you further updates. And so we will look for Bill Walton to find out how Akitabi is. Can he continue? And a very interesting scenario, not only in that particular tournament, as Fonoimoana pops it out, and he puts it away. But, of course, the ramifications. Ken Steffes almost ready to come off the injured list and rejoin the AVP Tour.
Expect Steffes to be back next week, and we're seeing if Ricky Luyties and Eric Fonoimoana can get back into this match right now, trying to make something happen on the bad side, but still not forcing errors out of Troy Tanner and Wes Welch, who've been very, very steady and the more error-free of these two teams.
I think you need to serve Welch a little bit more. It seems like
Tanner's passing very well.
Real good groove. Welch is setting him perfectly. If you would think of who's a little more erratic, Wes Welch is a terrific player, but he's a little more erratic than Troy. Been considered a little more steadier player. 8-3. And the put away by Ricky Luyties.
Well, clearly Fonoimoana and Luyties got to change things up a little bit. They're down. Tanner and Welch have been very, very consistent on either the good side or the bad side. And they're talking about service strategy right now.
Don't forget the United States Women's Open coming up next.
Lobbing one at Wes Welch.
And Wes Welch pounding one that explodes off the sand. Wes Welch living in San Clemente, California. Married to his wife, Kelly, who actually trains him in the gym. I said, are you still being trained by your wife? And she said, yes, she's still putting me through my paces. Whipping me is a good word in terms of physical working out. Not literally whipping him, folks, but, you know, medium whipping. 8-3, Luyties. And Luyties puts it away.
I'm not touching that one. You can get out of it. But to suffice it to say, there is teamwork in the household of Wes Welch and his wife. They're working out hard. You can see just a minute 35.9 seconds left in the game. Fonoimoana and Luyties.
Got to make something happen on the bad side. They've got to get some points and get over to the good side where they can make some points.
And they've been working on Welch here, and he's passed the floater, he's passed the jump serve, and Troy Tanner can set the ball very well.
Remaining in the contest.
Key so far has been the ability of Troy Tanner and Wes Welch to side out, get repossession of the volleyball, and it all starts, of course, with passing the ball well.
Wes Welch and Troy Tanner, should they go on to win, would play the winner of Canyon Seaman Jeff Rogers and Beef Louie. We'll take time out. 8-3. Tanner and Welch lead it.
Changing and at that altitude. And I was thinking about what happened with Karai and Akitabi. Remember that they had to play 2 extra days of competition just to get into the main draw because they don't have any FIVB points.
Nice dig by Tanner, and Welch can't dig it out. Score is 8-3 here.
And so 2 extra days of competition. They played a number of games just to qualify for the main draw. Maybe that has a little bit something to do with the injury to Scott Akitabi.
Eric Fonoimoana and his partner Ricky Luyties have just never gotten it going in this one. Dominating performance so far for Troy Tanner and Wes Welch. A minute 24 to go. There's still time. But Tanner and Welch have to make a few more mistakes. A little fake block. Nice dig. Big play here. Luyties. Not yet. Coming back over. Got to have this time running. Luyties. Yes. So Ricky Luyties and Eric Fonoimoana creep and get a point, and it's now 8-4.
Creeping, crawling, having to work extra hard to get it done. Fonoimoana and Luyties thought this ball was down. Tanner and Welch keeping things going. All sorts of time running off the clock. We'll get a timeout called here after that long rally. But still, Fonoimoana and Luyties got to make something happen in a hurry.
Coming back to the Nestea Open at Belmar. This is the AVP on NBC. Tanner and Welch up by 4. Live beach volleyball here on NBC. The Nestea Open. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, Tanner and Welch have led all the way. 8-1. Then Luyties and Fonoy got a point. Luyties and Fonoy got a point. Luyties and Fonoy got a point. Now it's 8-4, but time is running out on Luyties and Fonoy. Tanner, oh, what a spectacular dig.
Got to block one, though. Too much time running.
Coming to Ricky. Fonoy! And it's going to be a point.
Cannot afford long rallies. Fonoimoana and Luyties working so hard to get back into this game right now, making big plays, and now back within striking distance. And Fonoimoana knows it. Tanner and Welch have got to stay aggressive right here. You got to think, hey, we're on the good side. Pass the ball, just side out. 56.3 seconds left. All they got to be thinking about is siding out.
56 seconds to go. Can Luyties and Fonoimoana, do they have enough time to come back? Stay with us.
On NBC.
Fonoy with a spectacular dig and a spectacular view here from Belmar, New Jersey. This is where the people go to play beach volleyball in this part of the country. Fonoimoana and Luyties trying to come back. They trailed 8-1. They've cut the lead to 8-5. 55 seconds to go, which is not a lifetime, but it is plenty of time. We saw 2 points scored in 1 second last year. So things can't happen. Tanner serving. Troy Tanner and Wes Welch have been very, very good.
Luyties and Fonoy cannot give up a point, though. Pressure on them in each and every contact. They got to think about the 8-7 side change. Forget about tying it up. Just get to 8-7 and go to the good side.
Or, which has happened this year, if you're going to give up a point, give it up quickly.
Right.
Give up 9 and then get another one.
Right, but right now, they'd have to give up 2 for the 10-5 side change, and that pretty much lets them out of it. The point differential a little too great right now to pull that strategy.
Wes Welch has been unbelievable. Has he made a mistake today? I don't think so.
Wes Welch had a couple of unforced errors early. After that, been very, very steady with 16 kills, and he's gotten only 19 serves. That's a very, very good hitting percentage.
Women's Open coming up right behind us, so stay tuned. Should be a dramatic Saturday as the golfers position themselves for what should be a great conclusion Sunday on NBC. As Luyties gets the pound, 41 4/10 seconds to play, 5-8. Fonoimoana trying to get a point on Wes Welch, and double contact.
Wow, that's a big call. Ball came out with a lot of rotation. Tight call in that situation, and now Fonoimoana and Luyties within 1 point of going to the good side. You just watch as the ball comes out of Troy Tanner's hands, looking for rotation on the ball, and that initiated the call right away. Double contact right to left.
8-6. There it is. From the stop.
Luyties making things happen. If he does that, he can be a dominating player, blocking balls. They're right back in it.
33 seconds to go. It's a 1-point lead. It has cooled off just a bit. We are under 100 at 99 degrees. However, the action has definitely heated up. An 8-1 lead has disintegrated a 6-0 run by Eric Fonoimoana and Ricky Luyties. They're within one, 8-7. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland. Clock is ticking. 30 seconds. Oh, look at that. It's up. And Wes Welch trying to quiet it down. Trying to get a side out, and he does. 21.5 seconds to play. Welch and Tanner lead by a point.
Didn't know what would happen in this match. Two teams that are competitive with the best on the AVP tour each and every week. They've been up and down. We've seen that in this match from both of them. Who's going to make a mistake at the end?
Luyties and Fonoy now on the good side as they try to side out. Ricky got it. Luyties with the kill.
Or better yet, who's going to make a big play? Fonoy with a pretty good dig the time before. They're talking service strategy and maybe go back to Wes Welch. That's where they've been going during this run.
The clock only runs when the ball's in play. If we're tied when the clock runs out, next point wins. Sudden death. Trying to tie it up right here. Tight. Welch. Oh, and Welch Kareem-olas it. His best hit of his career. Wow.
This ball is set almost 50-50 right on top of the net. And again, Fonoimoana jumps way into the cross court.
Got to have Luyties up there blocking, perhaps for their team. Welch with a 1-point lead. Ricky. And Ricky dribbles it. Boy, Welch could have got there maybe. He was stuck.
Boy, did not make a move for that ball. And all he's got to think is touch it. Keep the ball in play for the clock to run.
Maybe this is the play. 7 3/10 seconds to go. Chance for Fonoy and Ricky. They need to tie it up here, or Tanner and Welch will be able to run it out.
Try hubby wife. Serve the ball as hard as you can.
8-7. They go to Tanner.
Got to come.
Oh, and they called the dig. They called the dig a throw.
They called the dig.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad call.
Let's go.
If that's not a hard-driven ball, what is?
Let's go.
Easy dig. The rule is if you spike it, it's a hard-driven ball. You're allowed to dig overhand. Yellow card coming out against...
Oh, red card.
Red card.
A point for Tanner and Welch.
Well, that will do it. That's going to be the end of it.
7 will be the score.
And Luyties, very dejected, throws his hat into the crowd and then gives an unsportsmanlike, that's the end of the match. It is over on a controversial call by referee Marvin Hall. So Tanner Welch survived. The official score is 10-7. 10-7. Tanner and Welch. Now check that. They corrected to 9-7. The official score 9-7 as Tanner and Welch win it. All right, we'll come back to Belmar Beach after this. In Belmar at the Nestle Open, Troy Tanner and Wes Welch, they led 8-1. It was 8-7 when this play happened. A sizzling drive. Was it a throw, Paul Sunderland?
No, that is a good dig. The ball goes off of the blocker, Ricky Luyties, right to Eric Fonoimoana. He complains bitterly to the official. Yellow card, red card, point on the board. But I'll tell you, Luyties and Fonoimoana with a long comeback. That, in the world of pro beach volleyball, in the world of volleyball now, anything goes, baby. That is a good dig. Would have been a chance for them to come back and tie it. Now, very, very happy Wes Welch and Troy Tanner. They go on to the semifinals in a wide-open tournament full of upsets. Anybody can win here.
It looks like Tanner and Welch, with the advancement, will play the winner of Canyon Seaman, Jeff Rogers, and Bill Bullion, and Brian Lewis. That's all we have for you. Hope you enjoyed it.